Okay, Dr. Saidi Mohammed Abdullah, I want to just step in here because there is one very interesting case in particular of Ibrahim Sharif, a secular leftist Sunni, who was also sentenced to 5 years in prison. Now, he led a registered political party, the Wa'ad opposition group. What, in your eyes, did he do wrong?
First of all, there is you know, when you want to make like riot or demonstration, you have to take a permission from the, from the authority, and that is unpermitted demonstration against. But he did not. I'm not the judge there. I'm not the judge there. But he always said, I am not asking to overthrow the regime. We only want.
We need to move on a little bit here because we want to look forward towards the issue of this national dialogue that's supposed to bring about reconciliation within Bahrain. I do have to pose again to you, Dr. Saidi Mohammed Abdullah, the question that if you are sentencing members of the opposition to trial, how do you expect people to come forward in the atmosphere of reconciliation?
First of all, I just want to clarify. When you are saying people, I'm talking about those people, they don't represent the Bahraini people. They represent few people in Bahrain. And I can assure you this. If we are talking about the Sunnis in Bahrain, they are representing 50%. It's not according to what they are saying. They are representing they are not the majority as Shias. Bahrain is divided into Sunnis and Shias, and 50% of the population, 50% of the population are Sunnis.
Sunni. We do not talk about Shia Sunni.
No, wait, just let me finish. First of all, when you are talking about the people of Bahrain, more than 80% of people of Bahrain are going to the dialogue. Even the opposition societies, most of them, even those who were like with an ally with the Wifaq, now they apologize. Wa'ad, which is the strongest ally for Al-Wifaq, they apologize for what they did, and they are joining the dialogue in the first of next month.
Joe Stork, can I just bring you into here? Because when you look at Bahrain, do you see that it is a country ready for national dialogue? Are the conditions right at this moment?
The short answer to that is no. Let me just make one point about the legality or illegality of the demonstrations. There is a law, indeed, as your guest said, that requires one to get permission before holding a public rally or demonstration. However, he should go back and take a look at the many statements the Crown Prince made during that time between mid-February and mid-March, where it was clearly spoke from a very high official, the Crown Prince himself, which was basically saying these demonstrations are okay. These are not illegal. So we're looking at a post facto sort of accusing people of violating a law when at the time when there were tens of thousands of people on the street every day and there was no sense that the law was being broken. This was completely irrelevant. As to the dialogue, I'd also note the Crown Prince put on the table just before the crackdown a 7-point program. This would be the basis, in my view, for indeed a real dialogue. But I'd note that the Crown Prince, who's been advocating for restarting the dialogue, is no longer in charge of that operation. It's been handed over to the Speaker of the Parliament, who's well known. His public record is very clear in terms of supporting the martial law crackdown. So I don't, and it seems that he's going to be sending out invitations to 300 different societies, not just the political societies, and certainly not just the opposition political societies, which, if you're going to have a real dialogue, who are you going to talk to? You have to talk with the opposition.
Well, quite.
And I'm sorry, Dr. Mohammed may wish that these people didn't represent many Bahrainis, but whether you like it or not, they do. And so these are the people you should sit down with.
Said al-Shahabi, just who is going to be talking in a week's time at this dialogue?
Well, unfortunately, it is not a dialogue between the opposition, the Bahraini people, and the ruling family. And this is, if there was going to be a meaningful dialogue, then the whole problem is with the Al Khalifa, not with the people. There's no problem between the Shias and the Sunnis, or between any factors or any ideologically diverse bodies. The problem is between the people of Bahrain and the ruling family. Now, if there is going to be a solution, then the ruling family must come forward and talk to the people. But once they have delegated that dialogue to be headed and led by Khalifa al-Dahrani, who is the head of the Shura Council, half of whose members are elected, then it has completely missed the point. The point is not for the Bahrainis to talk to themselves. They are already talking to themselves. And if there are any barriers among them, then these barriers have been created by the ruling family. So unless the ruling family comes down to the level of the people and say, yes, what do you want from us? What do you want? What do you expect from you? Then without this, you are not going to have a dialogue. You are only going to have a public conference or meeting in which everybody will just talk about anything.
Dr. Abdullah, it has been suggested that the Bahraini government may offer an amnesty to some of these people who have been put on trial and sentenced to create the conditions for a dialogue. Can you expand on whether or not that will indeed take place?
No, I don't think the amnesty will be there. Just can I answer just a few things which Mr. Shahadi said, please? First of all, he said the problem is between the royal family and the citizens. This is completely untrue. There is no problem between the citizens and the royal family. Most of the citizens, they respect and they believe in their royal family, and they support them, a full support. Only few people of the Bahrain citizen, which he is one of them, they have problem with the royal family, and the royal family will be staying. This royal family, hopefully, inshallah, it will never change. So he is not allowed to talk about the Bahraini citizens. He can talk about himself. This is one thing. The second thing, I want to emphasize that the Crown Prince, in the beginning of the revolution, as they call revolution, he called them many times to sit on the table for the dialogue. And he told them we have no ceiling for the dialogue. They were refusing all the time, and they were putting many unbelievable conditions. And when the revolution failed, now they are asking the Crown Prince to take over again and take the lead in this dialogue. Now, let me tell you, there is no problem who is leading that dialogue. They can attend and offer whatever they want to offer with no ceiling. As the king said, as the Crown Prince said, as the speaker of the parliament said, everybody can come and they can offer their requirements with no ceiling at all. But they are refusing. My point, I think they will attend. By the end of the day, they will attend the dialogue. They might create some problems inside on the table, but by the end of the day, they will attend.
Okay, Joe Stort, from looking outwards in Bahrain, do you think that these people are likely to attend the dialogue?
Well, that's really a decision they have to make, and I don't really have any advice for them on that count. I just point out that, you know, there may be a place indeed for the kind of large public meeting that Dr. Abdullah is referring to, that the Speaker of the Parliament has referred to as sort of his goal, his vision for this dialogue is a meeting where, you know, basically everybody comes and talks. That, you know, there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but it doesn't represent the kind of political discussion. It's not going to be the setting for the kind of political discussion between people of differing, opposing political views. And that's the discussion that has to happen. And I don't see it happening in the way that Mr. Dahrani has outlined. I wish it were otherwise. And I also think it's also important to note that this kind of narrative that Dr. Abdullah just gave about what happened in March and in February, I have a lot of problems with that narrative. If we had a longer time, we could discuss it. But the Crown Prince's dialogue proposal was not out there for a month. It was out there for a few days.
Okay, indeed, if we did have longer, we'd go into that.
Crackdown.
Unfortunately, we are running out of time, and we do have to look a little bit more towards the future instead. And Saeed al-Shihabi, I just want to ask you what future you feel there is for national reconciliation in Bahrain.
I think, first of all, the revolution will continue. It's still there. It hasn't been defeated. Of course, we are living under military rule and under Saudi occupation. That's true. But the people, as we have seen yesterday and today, hopefully, and we will still continue. We will continue to see them marching in the streets, demanding serious reforms, a change of regime, meaning writing a new constitution for the country, and written by the people, for the people, not imposed on them by the ruling family. There is no problem unless the agents of the regime wants to create it among the people of Bahrain. The problem is and will remain between the people of Bahrain and the ruling family. This is the whole political system. I think the situation will remain very tense, and I think unless really the wrongs that have been taken place be corrected, including addressing the basic human rights violations, pursuing the torturers who killed our people, and also bringing to account the ruler and his family who have issued the orders to shoot at the people in the same way as Mubarak has done and Ben Ali have done. Unless these issues are really addressed, and unless the Saudi occupation ends in the next few weeks or few months, I don't think there is going to be any room for reconciliation, because you cannot reconcile under threat and under the power of the gun.
Okay, well, certainly all eyes will be on July 1st in a week's time to see just how that national dialogue will play out. For the moment, though, I'm afraid we have run out of time. But thanks very much to our guests for joining us today, Saeed al-Shihabi, Joe Stork and Dr. Saidi Mohammed Abdullah. And thank you for watching this edition of Inside Story. Do get involved. Send any of your comments and suggestions to insidestory@aljazeera.net. Bye for now.